Hello, and welcome to another exciting bonus episode of Suck My Fanfic. Today's episode is hosted by some really great people over at the Movie Cellar podcast. They have a VHS collection, an internet connection, and uninformed opinions. There's some funny guys to listen to and really nice people to interact with as well. I must say, the fic they chose is personally my favorite kind. Take the energy and crazy creativity from one of my favorite fics that we've read on the show, National Treasure 3, and that's what they found. I'm certain you're going to enjoy this episode. Thank you guys for hosting, and to you, dear listener, we all appreciate the listens. Enjoy.
Welcome to Suck My Fanfic, where we have a fanfic selection, an awkward erection, and uninformed opinions. My name is Dan.
I'm glad that you kept that secret until now.
You like that? Yeah. Tell them who you are, because this isn't our show. They don't know.
I'm George.
And I'm producer Chris.
And we are not Ryan or Alex, the normal hosts of Suck My Fanfic. We are the hosts of a terrible movie podcast about VHS collections, and it's called The Movie Cellar. But they generously offered us the opportunity to fill in for them, which leads me to believe
very cool.
They are scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
It's
still a fun idea.
They don't listen to us.
I think they do. I think they're just like, you know what? We're out of options. So we're going to go with these idiots. But I'm excited about it.
Yeah, dude, this is fun.
So
this is good.
We've talked a little bit about fanfic on our show, which was totally triggered by Suck My Fanfic, because I started listening to these guys, and they're fucking great. Their show's awesome. Sometimes they do... Well, listen, we're on their show, so we don't need to say what they do. But it got me stoked about fanfic. And so then I started writing my fanfic, which, you know, what do you guys think of that so far?
I'm digging it.
I enjoyed the first part more.
Okay.
Because I got more of it.
Well, the second
part... It's very ambitious.
Yeah, well, you know me, man. Mr. Ambition. But the second part was tough. So my fanfic is, you can tune into our show and check it out. I think the first installment of it is in our King Kong episode. But it's about Indiana Jones, and he's older, and he's retired, and he's taken on a new adventure. So there's a bunch of crossover stuff, and we've only done 2 installments of it so far. Well, 1 probably has aired so far. And it's fun, though. I'm having fun writing it. So they asked us to do this show, and my initial thought was, hey, why don't we do 2 different fanfics based on fandoms of movies that we have done on our show? Because the way we do our show is we pick 2 different movies, and we talk a little bit about each of them, and then we flip a coin to decide which one we're going to do. Then we watch the movie while the show takes a brief intermission, and then we come back and talk about the movie like straight out of our heads, like just because we're idiots and we can't remember anything. So the best way to talk about a movie is right after we watch it.
And even then it doesn't go well.
Right. Even then we're like, what was Jack Nicholson's character's name in that movie?
Exactly.
Yeah. But I thought, what better way to... What would be better than doing something immediately after than doing it live on the air? So this is almost like our show, except for we're going to read a fanfic on the air and can react as we read it. Right? You dig that?
I dig it.
You're saying we. Are we reading it?
Well, I thought I would read it.
Thank you.
And you guys can react.
Right, but I didn't know as if you were like, you know... English class gonna like hand out like
hand it around. I could hand it around.
No, don't.
But I've been working.
We're good.
So I've been working on some voices.
Oh man.
And anyone who knows our show also knows I do the worst impressions.
He does a great Christopher Walken.
Well, you'll be spared of my Christopher Walken in this episode because I don't have any Christopher Walken. But anyway, I found the most perfect fanfic I have ever seen. Now, to be fair, I have not read a lot, but I found this fic and I was like, there's just no way. We're not flipping a coin. Like, we're going to read this fic. So that's the plan now. This is what we're...
I thought we were flipping a coin.
Yeah,
we're
me
not,
too.
though. So,
Okay.
unless you brought another fic to read, because this is the only one.
I mean, I can find one.
Like, or does
I
it
don't
have
know.
to be fanfic every time?
I don't know.
This is
All right.
okay. To be fair, anyone
To be
listening,
fair.
this is mostly Dan's thing, and we are just here for the fucking ride.
No, you're here for the reaction. That's going to be the best part, okay? Because I'm just doing fucking story time. But you guys are the ones who are going to, like, actually interact with it and be like, what the fuck? All right.
Am I gonna understand?
So are we like
any of
doing
this?
riff tracks? Is this like
Yeah,
Mystery
basically.
Science Theater? Like,
Basically, like riff tracks. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So before we get into it, though, I do want to ask you guys a question because I've heard it said a few times with people talking about fanfic. Is like, you know, we like to write fanfic, and there's like writers out there like George R.R. Martin and some other people who maybe aren't super keen on it because it's their characters and it's their properties, and you're kind of fucking with their stuff. And then other writers who are like, no, this is fucking great. You're taking my things and doing your own stuff with it. And, you know, a lot of people talk about why you do fanfic, and the reasoning is like, why build a whole world if there's already a world that you like and characters that you like, and you can just build new stories for them. So the deal is, like, it makes it sound like writing fanfic is easier than coming up with your own ideas. But I would like to offer a counterpoint to that, which is, in other ways, it's much harder to write fanfic than it is to write your own stories. Because if you're writing, like, say, in the Star Wars world, right? You have to know every fucking thing about Star Wars canon to actually write a story that fits into that world. That's a lot harder than just, like, making it up as you go. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You gotta like research and shit.
That's why, like, Mormonism is a tough religion, right? Because it's like, you gotta make that shit jive with an existing religion versus just, like, Scientology where you can just make it up fresh, you know?
All right.
So what do you think? Do you think it'd be easier to write fanfic or easier to just write your own story?
Write
like,
your
off
own
the dome?
story.
You
'Cause
think
you can
so?
just make it up on the go.
I don't know. Writing's not really
Hearing
my
your
thing.
fanfic and how you've incorporated, you know, stuff about Am I allowed to talk about
Yeah,
it?
talk about it.
Stuff about Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And then stuff from Bill and Ted. I don't remember
Yeah.
his name.
Rufus.
Rufus.
Yeah.
In the way you worked it in. That sounds a lot harder than saying you put two movies together. Do you know what I mean? In your own way.
And then, like, I had to do a bunch of research about archaeology.
Oh yeah, man,
and
you had a
about,
bunch of
like,
good
you
stuff
know,
in there.
So it took a lot. It took a lot more time to actually do all the research to piece it all together than it did to actually just if I were to just make shit up.
Right, exactly.
So that's just something I wanted to put out there because I'd heard a bunch of times people say, well, it's easier to just start with existing characters, but I don't know that that's entirely true unless you're like balls deep into a fandom where you don't even need to think about the canon. Like I could probably write the Office fanfic pretty easily because like I basically know those characters. Like they're my friends. Like I talk to them. They're in my head. Right? That's normal.
I can
right?
see how it would be. I can see how it would be easier if you're not really using your imagination or really trying to draw lines between movies and stuff. Like you're really going deep with it, so I see that being a lot harder than.
And it depends on how big of a world that is built around that particular, fandom. Like Star Wars would be a hard one to
that's
put
massive.
a story into, because there's a lot of rules already built. Now, like they've done a shit job even maintaining their own rules within their own canon. But then there's other things like The Office where it's not really tied to anything else, and it probably wouldn't be that hard to like just make a story about one day at the office as long as you just remember like Meredith's an alcoholic,
Right.
right.
Have you ever read any of the Star Wars books?
No, those are no longer canon, right? Since Disney acquired Star Wars.
I think that's right, but I don't think they were all canon to begin with. I think there
Right.
was like a whole section of them that were, and then a whole bunch of other just people loving Star Wars.
And that's an interesting point too. Like, where's the line on fanfic versus canon? And I guess it really just depends on who owns the property,
right?
Whether
And then
they count it or not.
depending on the fandom, like comic books, man. Like, how many different Spider-Man timelines are there that are completely separate?
Right.
You know what I mean?
But that almost makes, like, a Spider-Man fanfic would be easy because you could just be like, oh, this is in, like, U62 or something like that. I think U62 is the station on the movie UHF, but...
That's a good... That's
a great movie.
To be fair, the only fanfic I've ever heard is yours.
Yes. And so it's the best, like, by default, it's the best fanfic.
It's literally the best
heard.
fanfic
Well,
I've
that's
ever
because
heard.
you haven't heard this one yet. So, I think we cannot prolong this anymore. We have to get into it. It's a long piece. I have gotten permission from the guys to read the whole thing, and I feel like it's necessary because I honestly believe that the written word exists because we need stories like this. So, this fanfic it does fit into the way we do our show because we do flip coins. But there was one time before we started flipping coins. And what was that movie?
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now.
But there's also been one time that we said, fuck it, to the coin.
But that's irrelevant. The
Okay.
first time we did our show, we did not flip a coin. We introduced the coin flip because George makes shitty movie picks. But
You introduced it, and then we stuck with it.
That's true. But before we started the coin flip, we did Apocalypse Now. I have found
Oh, God.
an Apocalypse Now fanfic.
Is this going to make me tired?
Oh no, this is
Okay.
This is extraordinary. It will get you truly into the mind of madness in a way
Yay.
that you've never been able to before. It is a crossover between Apocalypse Now. Let me just tell you the title of it and see if you can guess. Or why don't you guess first? Any guesses?
How would that... It could be
what's the crossover?
anything.
Just throw something out
Austin
there.
Powers.
Oh, I like that. No. You got one, Chris?
No. Barbarella. Fuck it.
That's a
Crow.
fucked up fanfic. No. Let me tell you the title.
Deliverance.
Instead of Apocalypse Now, oh God. Deliverance and Apocalypse Now is just like by the time you're done, you would kill
You'd be
yourself.
dead. Yeah. Yeah.
The
Or
title
squealing
of the
like a pig.
story is Lasagna Now. It is a crossover between Apocalypse Now and everybody's favorite Monday hating cat, Garfield. What? It is
Awesome.
a Garfield Apocalypse Now crossover fanfic.
How do you even... All right, I'm excited for this.
This is by a gentleman named Lucas Filoni, and I found it on fanfiction.net. It is possibly the greatest thing ever written. So, are you guys ready?
Yes.
I am. This is exciting. I'm so confused about
So there's
what you've already said.
There's
so, like, I
a
gotta
little
hear it.
bit. There's a little bit of difficulty because he doesn't really write Garfield like Garfield's normal, like, oh, I blah blah kind of self. He gets excited sometimes. So when I do my voices, it's going to be a little
I
tough
forgot
to
there's
try
voices.
to cross. You know, there's people talking, so I got to do voices. All right,
Usually that's done with inflection, not voices.
we'll see.
Oh,
We'll see.
boy.
Okay, here we go. Setting: America, several months after the Twin Towers have fallen. Nighttime was lushing in the dark sky as the big high school football game was nearing its end. Garfield High School and Garfield are down by 1 touchdown. All they need is one more and they win. Many important people are watching this very serious game.
Wait,
Yep.
if they're down by one,
Yep.
then they don't just need one to win because that would just tie it.
Maybe they're down by like 5. Okay? That's probably what it is. They're not
Okay.
being overly detailed here. If you're going to pick the minutia apart, this is going to be a long
All right.
Many important people are watching this very serious game. Everyone is rooting for the home team, Garfield's team. Garfield huddles up with his fellow jocks of football butt buddies. All right, everyone. One more touchdown and we'll win the big game. And we get to go home with our sexy cheerleader girlfriends. I know I got my eyes on Cutie 5 Cheese over there. The Chad jockeys go googly-eyed. as Garfield glances at the blushing and fertile lasagna in the stands, steaming with delightful lust at Garfield's peak of masculinity.
Why am I grossed out right now?
Mission accomplished.
My face is moving muscles all on its own in weird contorted directions.
No problem, Garfield. Just pass the ball to me and win the whole game. Yeah, screams out Garfield's old high school buddy Kenny from the B movie. No, Ken, you fool. Everyone knows I'm the quarterback, so that means I get the ball, says Garfield in ballsy manner. Sorry, Garfield. I should have known better. Ken replies in useless football player. By the way, Ken is voiced by the guy who plays Putty on Seinfeld, or Kronk on Emperor's New Groove. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm trying to go for that here. So here's the plan. I throw the ball and I catch it, Garfield says, like American strategist Tom Brady of the New England Patriots, best known as Garfield's apprentice.
Wow.
Garfield, you know that's physically impossible, right? Says one of the unimportant players in the story. Fuck that guy. Enough. Let me show you what is possible in the land of the free, Garfield says in Patriot Act. They all combine their massive booty-grabbing hands together and form an epic handshake that makes them quiver with pride.
Ugh, that is a disgusting word.
That is,
yeah, man.
This whole thing so far is just like someone creepily repeating moist.
Good. They haven't even gotten they're still playing football.
We're like,
this is fucking apocalypse now.
We're a minute into this.
Break! Everyone yells out as they all get into their positions. It's 4th down, and they're 10 yards away from the goal line of scoring a big win for their school.
Ouch, that's a rough play.
Everyone in the stands cheering for Garfield. Meanwhile, Garfield absorbs the pressure, so cool, like a sponge sucking up pasta sauce from John's Italian nights back home. Blue 42, Jim Davis, hike, Garfield says, while his fellow footballers rush into their opponents, protecting their quarterback. Garfield throws the ball high into the air, and with Jerry Rice-like speed, he knocks away everyone who stands in his way from catching the ball. The time on the clock has run out, and if Garfield doesn't catch the ball, their 99-0 winning streak will be over. Garfield eyes the ball like a hawk watching its babies as the football spirals down into the end zone while Garfield has his meaty paws open. Touchdown. The crowd goes wild for Garfield as they win big game of football.
So he threw it to himself?
Yes.
That's the whole point of the last.
Is that a legal play?
Yeah, man, why not? Of course it is. Stop with the technicalities, by the way. But yeah, why wouldn't that be legal?
Man, I want to see someone do that.
Garfield kneels for 3 whole national anthems with his arms up and painted like World Trade Center buildings.
Oh my God.
This one's for you,
Furry
Twin Towers. Garfield roars at the stands, expressing his love for his country. The stands become silent from Garfield's performance. Suddenly, a crippled child hobbles out between adults and starts singing. America, America. The stands erupt into song as Garfield sheds a single tear he will ever make in his life. God shed your grace on thee. Indeed, God was shedding his grace that night. High above the Colosseum, a lonely black man begins to clap. Kenny holds his tears with American pride. You're the most patriotic man I've ever met, Garfield. I did it, Ken. I won. Garfield celebrates with solo team effort. Now that we won the big game, my father can finally accept me for the achievements in my life, Kenny says to Garfield as he looks into the stands, seeing his father, Lord Farquaad, giving his son a thumbs up. You know Lord Farquaad,
I don't
right,
remember.
Chris?
From Shrek.
Shrek, yeah.
Oh.
The lonely black man from above opens the door of his blimp and free falls from the sky. He crashes into the football field like a meteor wanting Garfield's autograph and shatters the dirt. The man created a small crater, and while he walks out of it, approaching Garfield and his teammates. You won the big game. I'm proud of you. It was none other than the 44th President of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama. What are you
What
What are you doing here, Obama? Garfield asks Obama.
Really? That's what we asked?
Yes. It sounds like maybe Garfield might be a little bit of a Republican. He calls him Obama. You know? It seems a little... I don't know.
What are you doing here, Obama?
Yeah,
He said
Obama.
Oh,
C-O-M-B.
okay. Gotcha.
It's clear in the text here.
I love that it's a couple months after
9/11.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna find out. I was watching you boys to test your skills, and so I'm drafting you into the CIA. Obama points at Garfield and Kenny. CIA, but I don't even pay my taxes. Garfield throws up a deuce, like the libertarian badass he is, because he was inspired by the infamous Ron Paul, social outcast. Respect to Ron Paul.
Does it really say that?
No, I said that.
Okay.
Well, you
really
better, or else, Mr. Cat. Obama intimidates at Garfield. Well, I don't love Michelle Obama in this one. While Michelle Obama is behind her husband, pulling 1,000 curl-ups with her massive unit-sized arms. So apparently, Michelle Obama has big, muscular arms. Kenny immediately shits his pants like soiled diaper baby with an audible squish at the sight.
Oh my god!
Garfield, however,
Fart jokes, man. Like poop jokes will always get you.
Oh,
You got
dude.
the poo on me.
I just saw that. Immediately shits his pants with like
Audible squish.
not like a soiled diaper baby, but like soiled diaper baby. Garfield, however, knows this opponent would be no match for his strength, but didn't feel like wasting the energy on such an emotional day. I'll take that as a yes, Obama assumes by smell. Pack your things, kids. You're going to Nam.
What?
They're going to Nam, man. Presidentially says 44th President of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama, who is not related to Osama bin Laden, in case you were wondering.
Does it say that?
No, I just didn't know if you guys were unsure.
No, I knew that.
They're not related.
I mean, I'm dumb, but
Hey, can we pause?
Yeah, why?
I just gotta pee really bad.
Oh,
but
Christ.
I'm sorry, man.
All right, we're back from George's pee break.
Thanks, man.
So we're like, we've gone through the high school football game. What do you guys think so far? Are you guys
I'm
into
digging
it?
I'm digging
you already
it. I
asked me
asked you
that
to pause.
question.
I know, but I didn't ask you on the air.
I know
Chris.
it's definitely better than yours.
You know what? You don't have to fucking compare it to mine, man. Come on, Christ.
Yours is the only one I know. That's
So-
my basis of comparison.
So, by default, his is now the worst one you've ever heard.
this is a true story.
All right, we gotta get you some more fanfic so I can at least move up the ranks. I mean, you can't compare me to this, man. I told you, man. The written word exists for this story.
It's so far.
All
It's
right.
really fucking good.
So we
It's
left
gross,
off
but
with
it's good.
Obama telling them they're going to Nam. All right, so here we are with Kenny.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, this is intense. What'd you think? It's a fucking apocalypse now.
I know, but like
You think they were going to go to the playground?
I don't know. Like the whole time frame is just fucking with me.
All right. No, but my mother is dead, sir, Kenny said, with wail
What?
of orphan.
What the fuck does that have to do with
Dead.
it?
That's everything to do with it. Michelle, take them to the chopper. Yes, Obunga Chunga, Michelle says.
What? And take me to the chopper. It sounds like Arnold. Get to the chop. Get to the chop. What does Arnold sound like?
I don't do Arnold voice. I don't do any voices.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah, man. It's not a tumor. It's a chopper. Yes, Obunga Chunga, Michelle says, with bicep, as she grips both our heroes in her steel folds and flings them in 27 exact backflips into a 1967 U.S. Air Force regulation helicopter, and it takes off, guns blazing. The helicopter mows down everyone in the stands, except for Kenny's father, who had his legs shot off and had to film an important movie called Shrek.
Wow.
Hey man, you can't kill the guy. He had his legs chopped off and he needs to film Shrek. That's why Lord Farquaad is so short.
I mean, I gathered that.
Shit is getting put together.
Whoa.
I love you, Obama. Signs Michelle with the veins in her underarms. I guess I didn't.
Ew.
She signed with her veins. So I guess I didn't even need to do a voice.
So like a neon sign, but veins like pumping out of her arm.
I think her veins turned into like a hand, and then she did sign language with her vein hands. I don't know. Yes, Obama said, with love of which you oblige to a child with ass cancer.
What is... I'm lost right now.
He was, like, kind in his response to his wife, but, like, in a kind of, like, pathetic way. Like, oh, you're so sad.
Oh, I get it now.
All right, let's get back on track here.
So
Michelle lets go of Garfield and Kenny as they look at the president with not-so-concerned eyes. Gentlemen, and Michelle, I brought you here today for an important mission, Obama says with serious intent on killing someone. I have serious intent on killing someone. Perfect setup.
Oh, I love it.
I will let my advisors brief you on your mission, Obama tells the heroes. Is my Obama impression anywhere?
It's the best impression you've ever done.
Good. It's Keenan Peele's impression. But that's all right. A man in an office chair slowly turns around facing everyone and speaks. Oh, who is this man? I forgot. Your target is to kill a renegade general who is hidden in the dense jungle of Laos. He used to be one of our greatest commanding officers during the Vietnam War until he decided to go AWOL with the rest of his men. His name is General Robert Roddington, better known as Robbie Rotten, says the man who looks like Harrison Ford from Star Wars, even though he's not Harrison Ford in this story because the author could not afford the funds to get his name for a parody, despite it costs nothing.
I enjoy that. I enjoy that thoroughly.
What do you mean, Steve? Garfield asked Harrison Ford. What I mean, Garfield, is that you have to somehow get behind enemy lines and assassinate this man with extreme prejudice, explained Steve. Does that mean I can be racist? Asked Garfield. No. We'll drop you off at the rendezvous point. There you will meet up. No. You will meet up with 3 other CIA agents who will help you along your journey, Garfield. Steve instructs to Garfield. It seems to me that the rendezvous point is right below us. Godspeed, Garfield and Kenny. Obama says as he commands Michelle Obama by using her muscles to flex Garfield and Kenny out of the helicopter.
He uses her muscles to flex them.
He commands her to like just pop them out like off a... You ever steal someone's bounce on a trampoline? No, not steal their bounce, but the opposite of that, where you like give them a boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she did with her fucking muscles.
Wow.
I don't get that. Like, is Michelle known as like a muscular woman?
I don't know.
I don't either. But, you know, it's weird.
It's fun to picture her that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. The two fall down a 500,000-foot elevation drop to the ground, landing hands and feet like superheroes. Except for Kenny, who lands on his hands like sexy gymnast. So picture that, I guess. He does this a lot in the story where he's like, they did this. There's like 2 of them. Like, they both did this, except one of them didn't. Instead of being like, Garfield landed this way and Kenny landed that way. Okay. You've finally arrived, said one of the CIA agents. My name is Stan Smith from American Dad. Maybe you've heard of me, says Stan Smith. Did either of you watch American Dad?
I have. Not enough to...
I don't really watch it. I looked him up so I could maybe get an idea of his voice. He sounded kind of like a very...
That's the big chin, the main character, right?
Like Dan Rather almost, but younger. So, I don't know. Sorry, I only watch Louder with Crowder, Garfield explains in changing his mind. Correct, Stan says. I want you to meet the rest of the crew. This is my first mate, Black Dynamite. Stan points to the man behind him as his own theme song plays in the background. Dynamite, dynamite. I don't know if that's right.
There's a theme song, and he's called a first mate in the CIA.
Yeah,
this
man.
is amazing.
He's Black Dynamite. I wasn't reported we were going to have a cat with us. Black Dynamite intimidates Garfield, which does not work at all. Listen here, urban commoner, Garfield says with non-care. The only thing you got to worry about is this orange ass getting to the target. Normally, Black Dynamite would punch the ever-living shit if anyone talked to him like this. You got a lot of guts, Garfield, and I respect how big your power level is. You dig? Black Dynamite tells Garfield. I feel nervous using the Black Dynamite voice.
It must feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable.
I'm glad
What
it's
am I
you,
going to do?
not me.
What am I going to do? You know, I got to do the voices.
But do you have to do that voice?
That's his voice, man.
Does it say that?
No,
It says
Black
that's his
Dynamite's a
voice?
character. A real character. From
Oh,
a real movie.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You play Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, Black Dynamite. You're a cool cat after all. Don't know where the Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing came from. Garfield replies as he gives Black Dynamite a powerful handshake of power. Coolios, Stan also replied. And last but not least, I'd like to introduce you to the Bronze Kneecap. Greetings, you fools. I am the Bronze Kneecap.
Is that from like the Fairy
Dude! Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, that one.
I
Air
knew I'd
five.
heard it.
Good job, man. Greetings, you fools. I am the Bronze Kneecap. That was a delayed air high five. Thank you, sir. I am the Bronze Kneecap, and my big Bronze Kneecap will aid you in your quest. The Bronze Kneecap shouts in the fashion of Bronze Kneecap. Lasagna sauce. Now that we let the audience know your names, let the games begin, Garfield says with awesome laughter, witty as everyone laughs while Kenny doesn't understand the joke. What game, Garfield?
Kenny is the best character.
What game, Garfield? Says Ken in confusion. Comprehending your inferior brain, Ken. Now let's go, says Garfield. He and the rest of the crew proceed to wander into the jungle for a little while, admiring the view of its breathtaking acres of jungle spanning all around them. They wander into the jungle. Yup.
Oh shit, I love this so much.
I told you. I fucking told you.
Oh my god.
All right. The birds chirping happily with sounds mixing crackling gunfire and the sensational smell of
Napalm in the morning.
Decimating the landscape. You called it, Chris. Well done, my friend. Suddenly, a kitty soldier runs up to the crew screaming, "Get down!" screams the soldier.
Kitty?
A kitty soldier.
like a little cat, or a kitty like a
kitty,
little
like
kid?
a little cat. Kitty, like a little kid cat.
Wow.
Get down! Screams the soldier, pushing everyone down to the ground
That's
as a
his
volley
kitty voice.
as a volley of bullets whiz over their heads. Garfield stands like cool badass as the bullets pass by him and even flicks one out of the air like a mosquito. Where are we? Oh, sorry. Wrong voice. Where are we? Squeals Kenny and Child. I love that. What's his tone of voice? Child. Squeals Kenny in Child.
That's awesome.
Welcome to fucking fuck you, fucker! Screams the soldier.
Oh my god.
Screams the soldier Nermal in his soldier uniform.
What is happening?
Did you ever think you hear Nermal saying fuckity fuck you, fucker?
No.
Who said that? Garfield tries to get out before a Viet Cong sniper bullet ruptures through Nermal's head.
Oh, wow.
Nermal's head splits wide open from the bullet like a water balloon through a paper shredder.
That's a good visual.
And sprays all over the feet of the crew, except Garfield because he is clean kitty. Meh, never mind. I forgot what I was going to say. Garfield shrugged his forgetfulness.
This is too much.
Shrugged at his forgetfulness and put it on timeout until it starts remembering things better. It's like, fuck you, forgetfulness. You're in timeout, bitch.
Man, I wish I could just make my forgetfulness wear like a dunce cap or something.
Right? A man walks up to it would forget why it was wearing the dunce cap. Like, fuck. A man walks up to the crew, stomping on top of Nermal's puny corpse with a shit ton of blood gushing out like a river. God dang it. Hank Hill wipes the thin layer of Hank Hill wipes the thin layer of brain matter off his combat boot. I'll just clean my dang boots. Garfield steps on Nermal's body. However, none of Nermal's blood and guts touches Garfield. Even his physical form forgets about Nermal's presence. Fucking someone hates Nermal, man.
Garfield.
Yeah, it's true. Well, who in the summer lawn smell are you? Garfield asked, even though he knew who Hank Hill was by seeing his name tag. Howdy, my name is Colonel Hank Hill of the Arlen Strickland Battalion. He chuckles, tipping his cavalry officer's cap with the Strickland propane logo instead of swords. Now get on, damn it! A chopper lands behind him with a choppy chop thud. The crew wastes no time.
Choppy chop thud.
Right. The crew wastes no time to moonwalk onto the military heli and take off over the dangerous jungle.
This is insane.
I told you, man, we would get deep into the mind of madness. So what's the situation? Garfield asks with the wanting for info. The helicopter pilot responds, you dang get killed, man.
Fucking neighbor. Yeah. What the hell's his name?
I don't know.
I thought it was.
Have you
I thought it was
seen?
yes, I get it now, but at first I thought he was doing the voice from a character from Homestar Runner.
And dude, if Homestar Runner was in this, that would be amazing. The helicopter is silent.
Is Kenny from South Park?
No, Kenny is from the B Movie. They tell you that. I told you, it's Putty from Seinfeld, Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove. That actor, I think it's David something. But yeah, it's from the B Movie. You know,
right.
Seinfeld does it. Yeah. The helicopter is silent, as not even Garfield, understander of millions of languages, could interpret the strange dialect.
I didn't realize there were millions of languages.
Dude, he's like fucking C-3PO, man. I'm glad you have decided to hire the mentally disabled, Colonel, Garfield says with appreciation of diversity.
Sounds like it.
Colonel Hank sighs, cracks open an Alamo beer with the boys. What he says is, we can only go as far as the river. There you'll have to go by boat. That 70 Green Berets had to sacrifice themselves to put there for you. Psh, Green Berets, what pussies. Garfield chortles with amusement. I'm uncomfortable with this.
Yeah, that laugh kind of died.
Yeah. Hell, SEAL Team 6 couldn't touch that dang river. Hank exaggerates. Even gayer. Garfield.
I know. Really?
Yeah.
I'm as uncomfortable as watching the movie.
All right, good. Well, then they're accomplishing their goal here. Garfield smirks with smirking as he pulls out a cannoli.
Smirks with
smirking.
Yeah. As he pulls out a cannoli and lights it with a lasagna decal Zippo lighter. He looks over the view of the jungle. So he's got a cannoli like a cigar. Okay?
But it's on fire. He has a cannoli that's on fire.
He's smoking the cannoli. Did you ever smoke like pretzel rods as a kid? Me neither. But I did.
I didn't know you could smoke
you
a pretzel.
You bite the ends off. So those thick ones, you like bite the ends off, and then you can light it. I mean, if you can haul air through it, you can light it on fire. You can smoke it, man.
You smoked a pretzel?
So yeah, man, I did. It was horrible. Don't do it.
That's as good as this fucking story.
All right, so he looks over the view of the jungle, observing Colonel Hill's troops cleaning up the aftermath of a well-fought battle between the Marines and Viet Cong forces. Every Marine throws a pile of their bodies around a tiny village. 2 fighter jets roar over the helicopter, dropping heavy canisters of napalm everywhere until all that can be seen was smoke and orange flames erupting. Yep, that there's a burning VC, I'll tell you what, Hank says as he takes a long victory sip of his Alamo beer along with his pals. Dad, an FNG with a blonde buzz cut leans from the co-pilot seat to address the colonel. He's kind of portly and reminds Garfield of, this sounds good, melted mashed potatoes with mustard on top.
What the fuck?
Is the napalm going to hurt the villagers down there? Well, you see, Bobby. Hank Hill takes a knee in the helicopter next to the young FNG. You got to think about it like
FNG?
I don't know what that means because I'm not up on the military.
Isn't Bobby Hank Hill's son?
Yeah. Listen, man, this is a retelling. All right. You got to think about it like barbecue and steaks. When the enemy are steaks, you want to cook it medium rare. Okay, Dad. The FNG says in a nasally gravel like asphalt going through puberty.
What the hell?
Asphalt going through puberty?
I guess. The chopper soon lands right where the boat is as Colonel Hill steps off along with Garfield and friends. Okay. Head up toward Chet-to-Lac-Nahoo, and y'all be safe. I'm afraid this is where we part ways, Garfield. My wife Peggy is saving me some poontang back at HQ. I'll tell you what. Hank chuckles softly. Well, off I go, he says, flying away from the crew. I'm sad to see Hank Hill leave. But I assume that he's supposed to be like Kilgore, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Black Dynamite gets on the dual M60.
Oh, I forgot all Black Dynamite.
As soon as the crew step into their boat, millions of Viet Cong guerrillas attack from the trees.
Millions.
Millions.
From
they
the
attack
trees.
from the trees, dirt, in the water, and under their shoes.
Damn.
Under their
everywhere,
shoes.
man. Just fucking coming up out of the ground, dude. Like just fucking zombies.
No, but
and
they're on the
shit.
boat. So under their shoes,
They're
on
coming
the boat.
Well, some boats have the thing underneath, you know, like where you store like the
hull?
tube. You know, when you go in tubing, you pull the tube out from underneath the boat.
What?
Oh, boy.
You know.
Except now there's like 100,000 Viet Cong in
No,
there.
million.
Yeah, but they're all in the trees and stuff. I just mean in the boat.
No, it's millions in each location.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Maybe. Who knows? Because it's millions total. So there could be 1 million in each spot, right? I like to think of it that way. And drive away. Everyone rushes into the boat as they rev up the engine. So they haven't gotten into the boat yet.
I thought they did.
Everyone rushes into the boat as they
go back.
Okay.
Go back. Rewind.
Head up, blah, 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 blah. The
Word.
chopper soon lands where the boat is as Colonel Hill steps off along with Garfield and friends. No, they're like on the ground next to the boat.
No, keep going though.
Then it's just him talking about getting poontang from Peggy.
No, but keep going. After
And
that.
then it's as soon as the crew step. Oh,
yes.
as soon as the crew step into their boat, dude. This story's shit. This total continuity error. Everyone
yeah, that's
rushes.
the one. That's the one that we gotta pick on.
Everyone rushes into the boat as they rev up the engine and drive away while many more guerrilla soldiers surround the river. Black Dynamite gets on the dual M60 machine gun turret and opens fire while the bronze kneecap unleashes the fury of his own machine gun from inside his own kneecap. Kenny uses a rifle that overheats from the pressure of having to kill a man, making it useless. I guess the guns really don't kill people. Kenny throws the rifle into the water in annoyance. Garfield karate chops every bullet in half that comes his way with precise speed, as if he was watching John cook his homemade spaghetti and meatballs.
Who?
John? Garfield's owner?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Precise speed like that.
Like that, because you gotta cook spaghetti with the same precision speed it takes to karate chop a bullet in half. They continue through the river with ease. As every bullet is fired at them, they return one back, making them dead in the process. The bullets, I guess. Millions of Viet Cong fall and flop into the water like fish gasping for air. Even though they can't breathe at all. Okay. I can't breathe, cries out one of the Viet Cong in broken English.
You can't say that if you can't breathe. And why would he yell in English?
George, stop. It's broken English, but I wasn't going to do broken English because I'm not comfortable with it.
You just call Zach.
Yeah, right. Yeah, tell it to Ho Chi Minh, you rat bastard, says Garfield pridefully.
Wow.
He said rat bastard. That's not racist.
No, I wasn't making a comment about racism.
Ho Chi Minh is, yeah. Anyway, says we have to accept that they're killing Viet Cong. Like, that's part of it, right? Says Garfield pridefully, American eyes, as he pinches the soldier's nose and throws them into a hill, leaving a large crater afterwards.
From the nose.
From the nose, yeah. It's a nose pinch throw. You've never done the nose pinch throw? Your fucking schnoz could take a nose pinch throw.
Oh my god.
Leave a crater behind.
It could.
Garfield turns around with a grin, only to see Captain Stan Smith on the floor, who is shot in the arm. Everyone stops fighting, including the enemy. The enemy focus their attention on Garfield's amigo. Listen to that sentence again. Everyone stops fighting, including the enemy focus their attention on Garfield's amigo. That is wordsmith.
Broken
That
English.
That is beautiful wordsmithing. Oh no.
That's word smithing. That's what that is.
Word smiting. More like it. Oh no, my American pride has been stained. I don't deserve to live, says American Dad Stan with broken dreams like Orphan. What are we gonna do, Garfield? Asked Kenny in -5 morale. We can't bring him back to the hospital. The ambulance can't drive on water. Watch this. Garfield flips over a cover with a button on it as he presses it, suddenly revealing a giant black wormhole with the scale to compare to Garfield's appetite. Always hungry. I'm always one step ahead of everyone, including you, Garfield says, pointing at you, the reader.
Okay.
Well, it's just, we haven't even reacted to this because this is how deep into the story we are. He just opened a wormhole on the boat and then points through the fourth wall, Chris. Not the fifth wall, not the ceiling.
Fuck everyone.
Through the fourth wall. And he says he's ahead of even you.
Do you do the one little finger song with Henry? Point to the ceiling, point to the floor.
I mean, I don't want to say that you could improve on Apocalypse Now, but I don't remember Apocalypse Now breaking the fourth wall. That's all I'm saying.
Or having a wormhole that you could just open. It's always hungry, but not hungry
Or
enough to eat the
nose
thing that
That's
you've
right.
got it held inside.
Man, so many great points are being made. Stan is sent through the wormhole into the infirmary as Garfield is the captain by default. That's another weirdly worded sentence, which everyone already knew. Stan makes his peace before he passes out like the not as funny alien from his show American Dad and says, "Oh good, now I will make gross babies with a blonde in Rhode Island named Chris and Mog." Like Family Guy, says the bronze kneecap. Stan flips him the bird. The bird is the word, but doesn't say anything as the wormhole closes. So Stan's gone. You guys sad to see Stan go? I'm not, because I don't really know his voice well. So I was struggling with that one. So I'm glad he's dead. Or he's not dead. He's just home and going to make babies with an ugly blonde woman.
I hope Stewie's introduced so I can
Named
hear
Mog.
Chris and Mog. So I don't know. Maybe he's polygamous. Maybe that's something to do with American Dad.
Or is it misspelled and supposed to be Meg?
It says Mog. Meg is Family Guy, right?
Right, so's Chris.
I don't know, man.
And so's Rhode Island.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, like Family Guy, says the bronze kneecap. Yeah, so maybe it's supposed to be Meg. I don't know, man.
I'm going to go with Mog. I
right.
think that's better for this story.
Yeah, Mog.
Chris and Mog.
Good old Moggy. Everyone has a moment of mourning.
Mog's a slut.
Along with the enemy to show respect. So the enemy has a moment of mourning for Stan.
For the person that they shot.
Yeah, they're good people. The Viet Cong take off their helmets and take a knee with their hands up high for at least one national anthem. I mean, he got 3 for scoring the winning touchdown, but, 1 is something, I guess.
They are enemies.
That's true. I hate America. Garfield breaks the silence with manly resistance. Garfield just said he hates America.
I thought he loved America
I
just
know.
like 17 minutes ago.
The bronze kneecap reveals a hand from his kneecap slot, choking Garfield. Garfield, I thought you're a stronger man than this. Don't you go to church on Sundays? Not this Sunday, Garfield says in manly depression for the forsaking of his only true savior and beer pong teammate, Jesus Christ. How do you forsake someone after you're their beer pong teammate, man?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. That's fucked.
I've still got the same teammate that I've always had.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any teammates at it, so I'm pretty good at ping pong.
Yeah, I'm better at beer pong.
Yeah. I mean, it's not quite as skilled as of a game, is it? Jesus is apparently very good at it.
Depends on how late of the night it is.
Jesus is better at beer pong than he is at being a good friend of Garfield because he forsook Garfield. Or did Garfield forsake him? I'm confused by that sentence there.
I think Garfield forsaked him.
I thought he was saying Jesus forsook him because I think the word's forsook.
I'll just stick with forsake.
But
It sticks with my idiot.
I think Jesus forsook
personality.
him because he let Stan get shot. But I don't know. Anyway, well, man up, Garfield. Stop acting like a pussy liberal and get yourself together. The bronze kneecap slaps Garfield in his chiseled cheeks to remember who he is. Garfield doesn't flinch, as the grip reminds him of soft baby touch. The only reason we're here is to get Robbie and make him rotten. Now I suggest you take that flutter hand off me before you come the busted kneecap. The bronze kneecap lets go of Garfield as the boat continues on the journey to assassinate the general. All right, so we're into the next phase. You guys ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
You feeling good?
Yeah.
You losing your minds yet? We're deep in the jungle.
It is getting harder to keep track of what the fuck's going on.
The end is pretty strong.
And in my head, I keep trying to compare it to the movie and be like, where are we?
The boat ride.
Yeah, well, I know.
Yeah, who just died?
Well, Stan just died.
Yeah, no, but
It was Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah,
Cook, chef.
that's where
Chef
that's
was-
where we're at. Lawrence Fishburne
Cook.
just
Yeah.
died and fell over the side.
Yeah. All right, we ready to get on to the next phase?
Is there a concert coming up?
I think they skipped that part. 2 minutes later, the crew spot a medium-sized rowboat containing 2 elderly people and their valuables. That boat's coming awful close, Kenny says with paranoid suspicion. Maybe we should do an inspection. That is wrong and foolhardy, Kenny. We should leave those people alone, Garfield says with honor. I have a better idea. We should inspect their boat in case they're going to kill us. Garfield justifies with original thought. Literally what Kenny just said. Brilliant plan, Garfield, the bronze kneecap says with excitement. Isn't that the worst? When you have a great idea and everyone's like, no, fuck that. And then someone else has that idea and then they're like, yeah, that's good.
Does that happen on this show?
No, because every idea on this show comes from me.
Okay, fair enough.
But, you know, that's not entirely true. Like, you put together the intro, although I sent you the pieces. You came up with the stupid overlay. We're not supposed to talk about our show. All right, let's keep going. Sorry. You guys contribute so much to our show, and I love you both. Are you ready?
Yes.
Been ready the whole time, man.
Fuck you, George. Brilliant plan, Garfield, the bronze kneecap says with excitement. Their boat reaches up to the elderly couple as they both share a moment of epic stare down. Excuse us, but this is an inspection check, so let us into your boat or else, the bronze kneecap intimidates as he points at his knee. Don't make me use this.
Intimidates or
Yeah, intimidates.
or intimates?
It's intimidates, and I know how to read. But if you'd like to look yourself, INTIMIDATES.
I'm not saying that you're
He says
reading
intimidates throughout this. Basically,
I know. I'm
whenever
asking if he wrote the wrong word. I'm not asking if you're reading the wrong word.
whenever he wants to say they intimidated someone, he says that he intimidates. Like instead of says, I like it. I think it's simpler, right? Because you just
I'm
feel
on
like,
Dan's team for this one.
All right.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It's like, instead of being like, he said in an intimidating manner, just, he intimidates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't make me use this. Blah, blah, blah. They're not getting on my boat. The elderly man resists. See, again, it doesn't say he says in a resisting manner. It just says he resists. Eustace, please let the nice American GIs inspect our boat.
Is this the cowardly dog couple?
I don't know. The old lady, they're old. I don't know. It doesn't say anything more. The old lady with curly white hair shrieks in calm assurance. Listen up, crackers. Ooh. Ugh. Listen up, crackers. Black Dynamite says with command of second person in charge. Let us check your boat for suspicion and shit. And we can be on our way. You dig?
Oh, God.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
It's like worse to say
I think we need to watch Boys in the Hood again.
Nope. The bald elderly man crosses his arms in stubborn.
I love how you paused automatically, just waiting for the reaction because it's
I just
fucking
love the
ridiculous.
way this guy uses language. It's like, Shakespeare made shit up. Why can't this guy?
This guy has that same issue that the guy in the office has. Like, why use
many
word
word when few word do? That's Kevin. Yeah, that's a great bit. All right. So nope. The bald man says is in stubborn. Last chance, bald man. Garfield threatens like beast, ready to be set loose through his lazy demeanor. Black Dynamite inspects the boat anyways. That's it. I'm getting me mallet, the old man says as he goes through his own belongings, pulling out a log-sized wide mallet. Holy cheese and crackers, he's got a weapon, Kenny shrieks. Everyone releases a volley of bullets into the couple without hesitation. Fuck, they were ready. They were ready to fuck them up. Shredding the old couple to kibbles and bits as they plead with their lives, but in vain, toward the ear-splitting sound of automatic weapons. Meanwhile, Black Dynamite was able to swiftly inspect around the bullets in milliseconds.
Got a dog.
Thanks to his kung fu. While y'all gung-ho shooting asses were busy, I found this dog, which we can keep. He's a little stupid, but that's all what Black Dynamite could find. No more lines, Black Dynamite. Stop.
It's uncomfortable.
Garfield inspects the dog while standing still.
Does the dog have lines? Please tell me the dog has
We'll
lines
see.
at some point.
Smells like Odie. Garfield smells like Bloodhound, but better. Must be trash. Drown it in the river. Fucking,
The poor dog.
dude, Garfield is a fucking cutthroat. No, Garfield, says Odie.
Well, he hates
whose
America,
voice is
so,
quite
you know.
I know, that was weird, right? That just came out of nowhere. And then they just drop it. Says Odie, whose voice is quite articulate for a mute dog only Garfield can hear. Don't drown me, Garfield. Just take me back home with John. Please, Garfield. I'm too weak and emasculated to go with you on this journey. Flattery will get you nowhere, Mutt, Garfield says with 1% amusement. Jesus Christ, Garfield, just take me home. Someone, please. Oh, he pleads like crying liberal on Bush re-election day. Fucking Odie.
God.
He's such a little bitch. I'll take him home, says Black Dynamite. Only to stay away from you crazy crackers. All right, we're getting rid of Black Dynamite.
What, are you going to kill him off?
No! Your futile attempt to return a worthless mutt will be remembered by your actions today, Black Dynamite. I have some respect for you. Garfield nods
Some.
with smooth respect. Sure, Garfield. Just don't let the white man get on my ass, all right?
Good Lord. This is fucking...
Black Dynamite, Black Dynamites.
What? Black Dynamites? Yeah, that's amazing.
This is a first where we've clipped. This is all turning red.
All right, I'm sorry.
This is...
The only response Garfield gives to relate to his brother Black Dynamite was looking down
His
with a
brother?
Yeah, apparently. Was looking down with a muscled fist in the air. I understand, brother. Black Dynamite awkwardly returns the gesture as he looks around to see where he could leave. Just too bad you'll have to swim there, Garfield says with annoyance. Black Dynamite doesn't swim. Then let me give you a boost. You guys ready for this? Garfield says as he kneels... Are you ready for this? Was from me to you two.
Yeah.
Okay. Garfield says as he kneels down like chivalrous knight with his hands positioned together. Black Dynamite leaps off the boat, soaring 7,000 feet in the air, while Garfield performs 14 million cartwheels by the second to charge his throwing power, forming Black Dynamite into a perfectly sphered ball and throwing him across to the other side of the globe. Kobe, Garfield basketball's a layup.
Nice.
All right. I think the physics of that checks out.
Yeah, no.
I have
Math
no
adds
problem
up.
with that.
Yeah.
Math
it's
adds
like
up.
he fucking Sonic the Hedgehog him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Kobe. The crew finally approached Robbie's castle, which was around the corner. The only reason they were able to know because there was a billboard surrounding his castle reading, "Welcome to Robbie's supervillain emporium of secret castles. We would like to not be obvious with our hideout, so please don't tell anybody or else you're banned." It's very descriptive. Very clear. The boat enters into the hideout and parks ashore as everyone steps off. They walk down the beach for 10 minutes.
I love when boats park.
You got to, man. You got to dock. You know? People aren't the only ones who can dock with each other.
With Matt Damon.
Is that going on their show?
Well, why not? They walk down the beach for 10 minutes as nothing happens. I mean, listen, they do fanfic. I'm sure there's been stuff about docking.
Also, we got to tie in us a little bit.
Yeah. That's why we're
That's
doing
the
it.
part we got to tie in.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
now they want to know why
it's a
docking
pretty
with
common
Matt Damon is a
topic.
thing.
I think we need to make that one of our t-shirts about docking.
It has to be a picture of me. though.
This just gets worse and worse.
It just needs to be like 2 hot dogs.
How do you get one hot dog inside the other hot
I
dog?
don't know yet.
You got to poke a hole in one to put the other one inside. Okay, listen, let's focus here, guys. We're almost there, okay? We're going to meet Robbie Rotten.
Hot docking?
The hot dogging, yes. The bronze kneecap suddenly transmorphs, like the book series Animorphs, into a giant plasma screen TV with surround sound and bass boosted speakers.
I love the description.
Yeah, man. Not just some pansy-ass TV. This is legit. Blood and visceral meat spurt and tear from their joints as his guttural and violent dying screams are muffled out as the screen flashes white. So this is not a comfortable transformation, one might assume. As the screen flashes white, revealing President Obama giving a rain check on Garfield. Garfield, I hope your mission to take care of Robbie Rotten is going well, and you didn't lose anyone on the way, Obama says in TV, as he sees only Garfield and Ken covered in a thick layer of bile, blood, and bits of entrails, except for Garfield. I told you, it's like a theme. Like,
well, he's clean kitty.
He is clean kitty. Not a clean kitty. He's just clean kitty.
In TV.
Oh, well, good luck on your wacky adventures, he tells them in asshole-like manner as the TV turns off with dozens of Robbie's tribal goons dressed as aboriginals surrounding the last crewman and Garfield. Oh, great. Now we're doomed, Garfield. Doomed, Kenny yells in frustration. Calm down, you thick slab of horse meat.
Wow.
Yeah, Garfield said with peak suggestion. What you need to do is get angry. What? Kenny said in dumbass reader. Okay, this is tough. Kenny said in dumbass reader who is reading this and not knowing what's going to happen yet. Geez, get an imagination. I can't always write this stuff, you know. What are you guys expecting of me? Another Last Lasagna sequel? I'm just a grown, cis, white male man, not to be confused as a mailman. That's a little side note from the author, apparently.
I was going to say, is he talking about himself?
To us, yeah. That's
okay.
Breaking the fourth wall. You're getting so many examples of it, Chris.
Fuck off.
Garfield and Kenny are soon unconscious by 2 blows to the back of the head, except for Garfield, obviously.
What?
Who is pretending to be knocked out, like Oscar-winning actor Jaden Smith, just so he could get closer to Robbie Rotten's castle.
Will Smith's
son? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We're accepting shit now, right? Kenny wakes up from his short slumber and sees the civilized goons dressed like Robbie Rotten, who seem to be paid to do this job, are poking their sharp spears into Kenny's body. Garfield, Garfield, on the other hand, is disinterested in the tribesmen as his fit teenage body bends their weapons like chiseled butter melting on hot, greasy pan.
Chiseled butter.
Yeah. Chiseled butter, man. You ever seen butter sculptures? They're amazing. They're really great.
Is it really chiseled?
I assume they chisel them. I don't know.
How do you fucking chisel butter?
I don't know. Make it really cold first. You can chisel anything. Why not? You just need a chisel. Garfield sits down into a meditative position like great Himalayan Dalai Lama and concentrates. Kenny, you must search deep within yourself and take off your shoes. What my boots got to do with anything? Kenny growling, more rage filled from the constant poking. That's right. Use your rage and your boots. Fill your senses with lasagna of the mind and layer victory with strategy with your boots. Garfield's third eye expands the rock of a skull. Kenny has to reveal his one true purpose.
His third eye, like his penis?
No. Tell me you know what a third eye is, Chris.
It's your dick hole.
Fucking A, Chris. No! God damn it. Well, this is definitely our show now. The third eye is the eye that sees into the spirit world, man. Come on, you've never seen any paintings of like Indian gods with the fucking eyeball in the middle of their head? The dick hole.
I'm so fucking
Chris has got docking on
Wait,
the
were you
mind.
serious?
I'm fucking crying.
Were you serious?
I was.
I thought you were joking.
Okay. Right.
Oh my god.
We gotta finish
This
this
is the
story.
first time I've
No,
cried
wait.
on the show.
Oh, this is a whole story right here. We can do a show on just that fucking sentence.
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry, fanfic.
All right. Garfield's third eye expands so he can dock with Chris.
God.
Chris, it's expanding for
So
you.
he
buddy.
expands
Oh my God.
the rock of a skull. Kenny has to
The
reveal
rock
his-
of a skull?
Yes, apparently Kenny's head is a skull. Wait, Kenny's
The rock of a skull.
Kenny's skull is a rock, yes. Has to reveal his one true purpose. Kenny inserts his hands into each of his boots. Now he's wearing his boots on his hands. You ever do that as a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. He feels his hands entwining with the material like sexual pleasure, orgasmic. Garfield gives to sexy high school cheerleaders, teachers, and sometimes janitors if they ask nicely back home. Seems a little
Aggressive.
unnecessary detail there. That's how he's holding inside his shoes. His eyes glow bright red with flames of rage. This is Kenny, remember? And passion pumped through his veins like buses going in and out of a tunnel. Or two dicks docking. That's crazy. They talk about docking in this story. He casually removes his ropes off his body and stares into one of the tribesmen. You know what these are? Kenny asked the man across who's literally shitting his pants. No, quivers the helpless man, soon understanding what his fate is. These are my winter boots, roars the fearsome Kenny, slamming his boot through the man's face like a punch and mauling the rest of the others in gory, treaded fashion. This one's for Broad's kneecap, Kenny yells, ripping a man's spine out from Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
From Mortal Kombat. This one's for everyone at home, he says, crushing another man's head between his boots. And most of all, this is for you, Twin Towers! Ah! Oh my God. Kenny rips and tears exactly 2,996 people to death in honor of those who died from that horrendous attack. Nope, don't like it. I don't like that being in here. I love you, New York, he screams from top of his lungs as he and Garfield make their way to the top of the castle, leaving rows of bodies behind them. Are you guys comfortable with the
I'm
Twin
starting
Towers
to
thing?
think that it's like not a fanfic, but it's more of like a coded message for ISIS people.
Oh, you think so? This feels like pro-American.
Garfield hates America.
He had a moment of weakness because Jesus forsook him for letting Stan get shot.
Oh man,
I don't know, man.
I was too busy looking at red lights.
I don't know
on
how.
this.
I'm sorry, man. I got really into it. I don't know how. I mean, there could be a deeper layer to this because the surface layer is just fucking epically deep. You know, I feel like we're in like 500 feet of water, 500,000 feet, really. All right. Anyway,
Fathoms.
they do a fanfic on Suck My Fanfic. They do one of it's a Harry Potter Twin Tower.
What?
Yeah, it's rough. Oh, that's not the worst. There's an Anne Frank Goku fanfic that they read.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that one's a little off-putting. Kenny butts down a large reinforced door with a massive swing of his boots. He breathes heavy, his eyes filled with rage as he looks anywhere for Robbie Rotten in the main bunker of the facility. He hears a small noise and rushes out before slipping on a banana peel and knocking himself out. Stupid fucking Kenny. What an idiot, right? Fucking, he's
Rips
killing
almost
it.
3,000 people in half and then slips on a banana peel.
Yeah, man.
None of the fucking blood from almost 3,000 people he's ripped in half,
Well,
but a banana peel.
Dude, it's the rules of banana peels. If they're there, you're
You
gonna
slip
slip
on
on them. Yeah. All right. Garfield strolls in the newly opened room and finds Kenny splayed on the floor like wanting, lustful woman. It's like there was no sex in the story, but he just felt like he had to add like sexy words.
I love how that came together.
You like those? Did you like my pauses?
Yeah, no, it definitely added to it.
Although I prefer lustful lasagna, which he refers to earlier in the story, over lustful women. I think lustful lasagna is definitely
that's
a sexier picture.
I'd smoke a cannoli for that.
He shakes his head and pops two rippling biceps and passes by Kenny. That'll do, boot hands, that'll do, Garfield says with slight respect for his best high school friend Kenny. Garfield uses his keen night vision eyesight to spot a bald-headed man silhouetted against the fire. You guys ready? This is it. We're in the heart of darkness. This is the moment. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So the guy's voice. So this guy, Robbie Rotten, is apparently from an Icelandic kid show called Lazy Town, and he kind of talks like Ace Ventura. So it's like, alrighty then. Well, it seems you found my secret hiding spot, Mr. Garfield. I'm sure it was all too easy for you, wasn't it? Said the mysterious man. I feel like this is better casting, really, than Marlon Brando. I mean, Marlon Brando did okay, but, Robbie Rotten, this is fucking next level. This is visionary.
Yeah, like Shroom Visions.
Yes. Well, yeah, I'm Garfield, Garfield says in overwhelming confidence that inspires wind behind him. He's so confident the wind picks up. And I'm here to take care of some business with you, scrotum face. Who do you think I am? Thanos? You're about to look like him, infidel. Why is he about to look like Thanos?
Scrotum face.
Right. And then he calls him an infidel, which is a weird word for Garfield to use. Says Garfield in crack knuckles.
What?
In cracked knuckles?
In crack knuckles.
In crack knuckles?
In cracked knuckles.
Okay.
He reaches into his jacket, something comforting and lethal to Robbie Rotten. I don't think you understand why I'm even here in the first place, don't you, Garfield? I have ascended beyond this silly war. Past the Viet Cong, the United States, even, dare I say it, I have even grown past the 9/11 World Trade Center attacks on September 11th, 2001. You're a goddamn madman, Robbie. Am I damned, my orange friend? Who is the real damned one? Is it the moment when we first breathe that God has damned us to an eternity of hell upon this world just to forsake us when we die? I don't know. I question myself these things every single day of my existence of this shallow world. Nothing has been able to make me cope with the thought that we are all being pulled by the strings here. Garfield, you were drafted to find me, forced to leave all that you know and love for what? Some retard with boots on his hands and a God who doesn't even care. Is this truly what you wanted out of life, Garfield? You're young, full of potential, and all others do is exploit your gifts for their own personal gain. That is your destiny, Garfield, a tool, forever manipulated for the vices of others. Is this how you want to live your life? Experiencing the horrors of the machines controlling your existence? The Combine. What are you going to do when you have everything that you love taken away from you? Only the Combine can decide your fate. The horror, Garfield.
The horror.
The horror. Man, that was a long monologue. Ugh. Yeah. And I had to say the word that we hate to say.
Oh, I cringed.
But I read it, so I feel okay about it. Do you feel like I'm not as good for having said it?
No.
Okay. You feel okay with it, George?
There's part of me that still wants to stupid it.
I don't feel okay with a lot of the things that you said. I'm an adult.
I haven't said them. I've read them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like...
Out loud.
Dude, like when you're a kid and you want to go tell on someone for swearing, it's like the most exciting thing, right? Because you can be like, Mommy, Johnny said fuck. She's like, okay. No, he said fuck. He told me to fuck off. No, I get it. No, Mama, he said fuck. Like, okay.
I'm an only child, so...
The point is,
I don't understand
if you're
the excitement.
quoting someone else,
that's not
you can say it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm down
I had
for
that moment with, quoting Tom Petty and shit.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Singing on.
Yes. So that's how I feel about this. That rule still applies, even though I'm much older now. Garfield slowly pulls out his lasagna Zippo lighter and a cannoli cigarette in his veiny paws and lights one up to smoke. I just wanted to leave you a message by the government. What on earth could that pointless government ever say to influence me? Garfield takes a long drag on his ciggy and flicks it to the ground and says this one line. Stop being mean. Robbie Rotten contemplates on Garfield's powerful words. You know what, Garfield? I think you're right. I should stop being mean. Yeah, and maybe get some cancer while you're at it. Garfield advises Robbie Rotten in his childish humor like Big Papa to Little Baby. You're right, Garfield. I should. Thank you for converting my ways and making me a better person in life. God bless America and fuck Osama bin Laden, says the converted patriot Robbie Rotten. Does this mean that he's going to go get cancer? That's
what he told him to go do.
Because Garfield says go get cancer and he goes, you're right, Garfield, I should.
Yep. That's what that means.
Anytime, cowboy, says Garfield with cool 2001 sunglasses that were popular at the time. Robbie Rotten shakes Garfield's beautifully masculine hand with respect and guidance as he heads out of the castle and disappears into the depths of the Vietnamese jungle. Kenny wakes up from his knockout nappy nap and rubs his... That's beautiful. And rubs his head with boot heel. What in Frenchy Flounders Pounders just happened? Garfield turns to Kenny with the early morning sun rising behind his marvel of a face and says, History. Kenny releases tears of joy, realizing that they have done something the U.S. government couldn't. They've finished the Vietnam War. Thank you for helping me unleash my powers. Now you ready to finish high school, Garfield? Actually, that game was the last day of our senior year, Kenny. We've graduated. Oh, well, I guess I'll see you in college, friend. I definitely owe you one in the future. Please mention it as often as possible. I've got other plans, Kenny. Well, geez Louise, Garfield. What type of plans do you got then? Said Kenny, and almost angry, but he knows what company he's around. I'm not sure, Kenny, but for some reason, I'm hungry for a little bit more, Garfield says, in curious wonderment as he looks up at the fading starry sky. Also, you won't graduate with our class, Kenny. Oh, for Pete's sake. Audience can laughter. CCR Fortunate Son plays. Curtains.
Wow.
There you go.
I'm actually tired.
Wow.
That
that wore me out.
You didn't even fucking read it.
I know. How do you feel?
Dude, you get into it. You fucking get into it. It's like
very well done.
What he does really, really well. It's fucking insanely ridiculous. But what he does well is he really does like Apocalypse Now kind of like just works you into this world where by the time you're like fucking at the end, you're just like, my fucking mind is mush.
Yep.
Right?
He did really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are you glad I didn't do the coin flip?
Yes.
I don't know, because I don't know what the other one was.
The other ones were not that good. I had a King Kong one where they like the natives like captured everyone on the boat and like tickled their feet. That was a weird one.
That sounds like a Barbarella thing.
And then there was a Teen Titans crossover with The Crow. Teen Titans crossover with The Crow. That was the other one I was gonna do.
Oh man, fire it up!
But that one wasn't great. And like The Crow, it was just like it was one of those deals where it wasn't really anything about The Crow. They were just like, hey, let's just put these together. It wasn't great, and they were both super duper short. So, Chris, what did you think of it? Like, give us a quick.
That was a ton of fun. The references that he tied in so many things, just insane. Ton of fun, lots of laughs for a bunch of reasons. But
we do a 1 through 10 scale on our show. So, how many stars do you give it, Chris? Out of 10?
I'm gonna have to go with my gut and say 9.
Yes. All right, George, what do you got, man?
I don't know what to compare it to.
That's my. I think about when we first started our
Are
show.
you touching your nipples, Chris?
When we first started
you
our
gave this
show,
a higher rating than you gave Apocalypse Now.
when we first started the show, it was just Visceral.
Yep.
This is the number.
Yep.
I have nothing to compare to other than yours, so
That's
it's 9.
right. All right. Mine's like a 9.5. So that's cool. I get it.
8.5.
All right.
I mean,
How
It
much
was-
did you enjoy it, George?
I laughed a lot. I don't know if... I mean, I didn't laugh with it. I laughed at it.
But I think that was laughing with it. Clearly, it was meant to be fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I think I want to give it like a 7.
Yeah.
Because it
That's
was
fair.
definitely really funny.
Yeah.
But I would never listen to that again. Like,
That's like Apocalypse Now, man.
yeah,
right.
yeah. Like if there was a sequel to that,
Yeah.
you know what? I'd probably listen to
He
that.
has a bunch more Garfield stories.
Okay, I changed my mind. Now that it's there and I have the option, I've just realized I don't want that. so I think that's gonna.
All right, a 7's good. A 7's good. So I think that I would probably give it like an 8. There's like two areas of improvement. I felt like the middle got a little slow. And like,
Just like the movie.
yeah, like it didn't really have a lot of momentum, like while they were going down the river and stuff. But the beginning is just fucking solid gold, and the end is also really, really good. I get that, like, he wants to do the super serious monologue, that he does in the movie, but I don't know. I felt like that was a little, having to read it out loud was a bit exhausting. And like, I think that the humor is lost after the first like 2 sentences. You know, you need the horror, but other than that, you don't really need any of the rest of that. The only other thing I give it negative marks for, but really the biggest thing I give it negative marks for, is Garfield never once in the whole fucking thing says he hates Mondays. How do you have a goddamn Garfield story and not once say you hate Mondays? That's bad.
Yeah,
bad.
the I Hate America
He never
should have
even
just
ate
said I
anything,
hate
did he?
Mondays.
He never ate anything, but he did.
He did smoke a
He
couple
did.
of cannolis.
Yes, and he intimated that he was going to fuck lasagna. He definitely had a sexual
intimidate it?
relationship.
Did he intimidate the lasagna into
No,
sex?
you don't intimidate
That was
the
the
lasagna.
bronze
You say
kneecap.
something in intimidate. Yeah, dude, that was so good. That was so funny. When I saw it, I was like, dude, we've got to read this. This is fantastic. Because, like, I was looking up things that I thought made sense to have fanfic, and I was struggling to find solid stuff. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I'm struggling. Like, let's expand this. Let's do some of the other movies. And Apocalypse Now was like the last fucking movie on my list to think there would be a fic about. And then I came across this and it fucking glowed like the holy grail, man. I was like, we're fucking doing this. So, what did you think of my voices? Like, I've done a lot of voices on our show.
Dude.
And they really suck.
I
I tried really hard. Like, I actually did some research into some of these
I
characters.
really enjoyed that you did the voices for all of them, but there were a few times that I'm not sure if you were doing the wrong voice or
I popped out a voice a lot of times.
Yeah, so there were a few times that because of that, I had to stop and be like, wait, who's talking right now?
Yeah.
Okay, now what swagger do they have because it's changed?
It's tough because, like, the way that I get into a voice in my head is, like, I say their catchphrase in my head, and then I, like, start talking like them. It's a lot easier. Like, with Hank Hill, I couldn't get into Hank Hill until I said, I'll tell you what. And once I said that, I was like, I fucking know how to be Hank Hill now. But, like, I couldn't do that in my head while reading out loud.
Right.
So, like, I would struggle, like, with the Kenny accent. And even with Garfield a couple times, which the Garfield voice I literally just made up. I was like, I want to sound disinterested.
Yeah, you sounded more like Heathcliff.
I thought I sounded more like fucking Clear Eyes guy. Ben Stein?
No.
Clear
I
Eyes
didn't-
helps moisturize dry eyes.
No, I'm still getting Heathcliff.
That's alright. I mean, I don't care.
I'm going to be a lot less negative and say that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you, man.
I mean,
It was...
I can see where George is coming from, but
That's like the only thing I can say though. Like I did really enjoy the fact that you were doing the voices. I think that really lent to, like, I don't think I would have enjoyed this reading it.
Right.
Hearing it out loud.
I tried to make it
it's
pop.
fucking hilarious.
I tried to make it pop. And, like, it was super long, but I was like, I emailed the guys and I was like, hey, do you guys mind? Like, I want to read this whole thing. And they said, yeah, dude, like, our theory on our show is, like, let the story take as long as the story takes. Because I was thinking about, like, leaving out the football part at the beginning, but it sets such a perfect tone for the story.
Yeah, you need that.
Like, that in itself is a good story.
Yeah,
like,
well,
just
I
the
mean,
football game. And the fucking World Trade Center towers on his arms.
Where are you going?
Dude, we're literally rapping.
I've been holding it for a long time. I got the.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All right. George couldn't wait fucking 5 seconds to wrap this up so that he
I've
could
been
take a
waiting
piss.
for like
Yeah.
a long time.
All right. Well, anyway, I had a great time doing this. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity, Alex and Ryan. Hopefully
Alex and Ryan, thank you
Yeah.
so much. That was really cool to be involved in your show like this.
Yeah, and you got their show kicks back on. They have seasons. We should have seasons. Maybe once we get through Z, we'll do another season. But anyway, that starts like next week. So I'm.
You mean we'll do another year?
Yeah, we will. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, thanks again, and check our show out if you get a chance. Like, you know, when you're done listening to literally fucking everything else on your list, check out the Movie Cellar. We do basically the same bullshit every week. We just talk about movies and yell at each other. So, yeah.
And I'm really dumb, so.
You're great, man.
It's
Third eye's
not
the
dumb.
dickhole.
It's just uninformed.
Uninformed opinions, man. We brought them tonight. I was impressed.
That was fun.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.